This is a story about destruction. About a world burned and burned again, burned over. This is a story about the death of a world that died so long ago there are none now who remember it. We took refuge here, in Convergence Valley. In this isolated place, we could be saved from the devastation that fell outside, and as the world burned, we hid away here, among the peaks. Beside the slope of Do Not Go There, at the end of the world, in the vast, barren expanse of the flats, yes, at the mouth of the river that is her mouth. It was a strange and hostile place, but in a world gone mad, it was home. And we survived. And maybe, for a time, we thrived. And then the unthinkable happened. Shoots through the ashes. Little by little, the world once burned over, well, it began to heal. Green shoots returned to the flats. The winds that cut us off from the outside world were becalmed, caught in the doldrums of something else, something waiting. And Convergence Valley was no longer a place of refuge, but a prison. Or was it something else? This is a story about what happens when a nation falls. This is a story about what happens when everything we took for granted is upended and destroyed. This is a story about a shelter torn asunder by the forces of human lives and human will. This is a story about that most destructive thing of all. This is a story about hope. Welcome to Convergence Valley, or what's left of it.
Welcome. Sorry, let me do that again. Welcome to Desperate Attune.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to Desperate Attune, everyone. Glad to see you back for this season 3, where we are switching things up and playing Apocalypse World Burned Over by the Bakers, Megan and Vincent Baker. The game we are playing today is we're once again creating a custom setting, a custom hard zone, as it were. But as this is a game where we very much play to find out, we are going to learn more about the game as we go. So this is going to be our first venture away from Uduasha in the history of the pod and towards a place that we have called Convergence Valley. And Convergence Valley is a setting that we have drawn up as we convened the previous time. It's a mountainous setting. It's a valley between mountains. It's quite snowy and harsh and unforgiving, but it has also recently changed with some new sprouts of life. The winds that kept it cut off from the outside world have stalled a little bit. And more importantly than that, the government has fallen. This is going to be a story in which we play out what was an enclave of surviving, well, not surviving, an enclave that attempted to rebuild after the apocalypse. This is a post-apocalyptic game. This is a post-apocalyptic setting, in case you're not familiar with Apocalypse World, but it's kind of in the name. And we have had a civilization in Convergence Valley that lasted after the previous civilization fell and has now finally collapsed. It's been some time since our apocalypse, so we're not doing a story of the apocalypse having been in living memory. The apocalypse was a long time ago, but the world has changed also in more recent times. I think that's a decent summary. Is there anything we should add to that, everyone, before we introduce ourselves?
I just have one question, and it's very important, Holly.
Okay.
Isn't it a problem if your baker burns things over?
Ha! Nice. Thank you.
Mhm.
What a great energy to start on. I'm Holly. I'm the host and the MC of this story. And the person you just heard. Hello, Klow.
Yes, hello, it's me. I'm Klow, Zoheb, my friends. So I invite you to call me Zoheb too. Should I rattle off a list of my accomplishments?
Yes, please do.
Okay. My list of accomplishments is very short. However, what is relevant for you is that you can find some game design stuff that I do on itch.io. You can find that at clowspeaking.itch.io. There will be a link in the description where you can find Blades in the Dark playbooks that I've made and also the game that I'm working on, Midnight in a Perfect World.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I leave it to the next person to speak to be Tree.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸೌಮಿತ್ರಿ ನಾನು ಹೈದರಾಬಾದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ I considered doing the entire session in Kannada, but I decided that it would be funny only for me.
Only Aadiyat gets to be in Canada.
I hope that we die in a fire. Sorry, that was a bit harsh. My name is Saumitri or Tree. I live in the south of India. My list of accomplishments is so long that if you wrote each one of them on a single atom, the entire universe would not be able to contain all the things I've done. And so therefore, I will only say that I sell clothes, I make games, I speak some languages, I write some poetry, and I used to run this podcast. And then a coup happened, and it was taken away from me.
And so it was. And so it was. Salty, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Salty. I do some game design, but mostly I do science, and yeah, it's great fun. Science is great when things arrive on time, which things tend not to anymore. Yeah, so you can find me again at itch.io, where I have some character keepers, some game stuff, just general things, and I've made the character keeper that we're using for today.
Thank you for both that wonderful introduction and the character keeper. It's quite vital to this game. Aadiyat.
Yes, hello. I'm Aadiyat, known as Soap on this podcast. And that's all I'm willing to divulge about myself at this point. So, yeah.
We've
It's
also
more than I ever
revealed-
heard about you.
We revealed that you live in Canada.
Yeah,
I do live in Canada,
Yeah.
unlike Tree, who's a mere pretender.
but you do not speak it.
I don't speak.
And yeah, and as I said, I am Holly, your host, also known as Prince, available at princehollyhawk.itch.io. I have made some stuff mostly for Blades in the Dark, but I have also made a game called Weirdos in a Rich Guy's House. Check it out, it's very funny. And with that, I think we are ready to talk about the apocalypse burning over. Which means we're talking about some characters. Because if you're not familiar with Apocalypse World, it has had a first edition, it has had a second edition, and currently Burned Over is in the making, and we are trying out some brand new playbooks with which to make our characters.
This is the 2024 playtest, in case there's a new version that comes out and people are like, what the hell? What are
Yes.
these guys playing?
Yeah, it's exciting to be trying out a game that's still in development. And yeah, shall we start introducing our characters?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like that.
Yes. Let's go in the same order again then. So, starting with you.
Sensible.
Give me one.
Yeah, let's wait for Tree to come back.
Yeah.
I'd like Tree to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, sorry, my dad rang me, but I think it was what do you call a butt dial? So
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Booty call.
Sorry to hear about your dad's butt.
you know, they took a tendon out of it to put in his leg when he was 6, and it's never been the same.
Mm.
Yeah, please go on.
F's in chat only. Yeah, so I am playing the Volatile. I'll read out what it says for the Volatile. When they set fire to the world, they burned away every nuance, every subtlety in creation. They reduced the world to the flammable and the flame. I am aiming to be the flame, however, I am also very flammable. So my character is called Terminator Azdakush. They are a knight of the Order of the Worm. There are knights in the post-apocalypse, we have decided. Terminator was a loyal knight, steadfast, crueler than they should have been, but hopefully for a good cause. She has since lost her way after the fall of the president, the knight president, from the tower called the Tower of Saint Fulmine, where she fell and was broken on the ground. And then the world basically ended, as far as Terminator is concerned. We're playing the post-apocalypse, but people in the post-apocalypse don't know that they're in the post-apocalypse, except Terminator. Terminator knows she's in the post-apocalypse because the world ended when the Knight President fell from the tower and died. And since then, the various orders of the Knights have been squabbling, trying to put the world to right, trying to see who should lead them. No one worthy emerged, and most of these orders have now scattered to the winds as the city, the world around them, the realm that they swore to protect, some would say rule. Rule or protect, depending on narrative. As that world turned against them, the Knights have become kind of like a myth. Has-beens, fossils, living fossils. And that is who Terminator is, someone haunted by the past. In a quite literal sense. Because... should I introduce the concept of the Psychic Maelstrom here? Because it's relevant for my character.
Please do.
Apocalypse World games have something called the Psychic Maelstrom, which is always different in each rendition of Apocalypse World that you play. But it is an ever-present thing, a thing at the edge of your consciousness that you can open your brain to. And we decided that the Psychic Maelstrom in our campaign is going to be about memory. It's going to be haunted by the past and potentially by the future. And Terminator's mind is haunted by visions of the President, whose name was Cazador Sicari. She sees Cazador Sicari in her dreams. She hears Cazador Sicari all in her mind. And Cazador Sicari tells her what to do. And what Cazador Sicari wants her to do, it seems, is to keep the memory alive. Or at least what Terminator thinks is the memory. Let's see. What else should I say? Should I talk about moves? Should I talk about weapons?
Talk about your moves. We will introduce gear and crap as we start play, I think. But
Okay.
tell me about your moves a little bit, and then we'll do gear. We'll go everyone with the character and the moves, and then we'll do everyone with the gear and stuff, and then we'll do history with each other, I think.
Sure.
Tell us what you can do.
What I can do is I can hurt people real bad. Often, trouble just finds me when I walk in. I have a dangerous presence, which means that whenever I enter a non-violent situation, I have to roll. And depending on how I roll, things will either turn out well or turn out bad. This non-violent situation might turn violent against me. We shall have to see. And every single time the situation turns violent against me, every single time I am in a battle, I get visions of death, which is also something I must do every single time I am in a battle. And when I have visions of death, I see who will live and who will die. And if I roll badly, then I will see that I will die. And that's Terminator Azdakush of the Order of the Worm.
Yes. Thank you for that. So that's Terminator. Tree, who will you be playing?
G'day. I briefly considered doing an accent for this character, but I have decided not to, so you can all thank me for that incredible decision.
Thank you,
I
Tree.
will be playing Ahiri. The playbook is Maestro D, which means I run a venue, and the venue that I run is mostly my identity. It is a pub or maybe watering hole called Sicari's Regret. We don't know why it's called that. I guess we'll find out because this is a Play to Find Out podcast. Ahiri is maybe one of the most strange people on this podcast in terms of gender, because I have decided that Ahiri's gender will be based on what kind of relation other characters have. And so if you are speaking to her in the confines of the regret or in her capacity as proprietor, then she uses she, her pronouns. She's somewhat more feminine, I guess, whatever that word means in the post-apocalypse. If you pass by Ahiri on the street, or maybe, grab a friendly drink, he will use he, him. This is because he is not in his professional capacity, and therefore you should not relate to him in that way. And if there are any people in this world who are intimate with Ahiri, then they probably use a different gender for Ahiri, because it is not a gender that is used either in public professionally or in private personally, but a completely different third thing. Ahiri also, by the way, runs a pub with like workers and stuff, and I think she insists that any gender used in the pub cannot be used outside the pub. So she enforces that division for the people who work for her, because it's her opinion that it's good practice,
Yes.
not to let those things get confused.
Okay, good. Tell us about your moves a little bit, and I would also like to hear about what options you have picked for your venue.
Yes, so I have picked Devil with a Blade, which means that I'm a devil with a blade. It does what it says on the tin. And I've picked Everybody Eats, Even That Guy, which basically says I can always ask questions about people I'm interested in, because I always at least know someone who knows someone. Even if I roll badly, all that happens is that they will hear that I'm interested in them, which is not necessarily a bad thing. As for my venue, The Regret, I have... Basically, it's a place where people come for fights, and then there's betting on the fights. But it is also a place to be seen, to listen to music, right? It's a place where you turn up so that the other people who turn up know that you are here. And it's an important part of the local culture. It's located in the Cloud Bazaars. And I think that it is well lit. It's not one of those grubby little like hole in the wall type places where everybody's like embarrassed about the fighting or it's a secret thing. No, everybody knows that the fighting occurs. And everyone knows that if you go to The Regret, you get a little spice, whether that's in the things you eat or drink, or it's in the things that you punch out of somebody else's mouth. And I have a serious security gang about whom we will discover more.
Yep, lovely. All right, we will pass it on to Salty then.
Yeah, so I will be playing Perfidelity Evergreen as the Kush, who is the gear cutter. So as the gear cutter, I think the most important thing about the gear cutter is their workspace. And Perfidelity, she has a very extensive one. So not only is it a workspace for machinery, I also have a observatory, which is a workspace cosmology. I have Weird Ass Electronica, which makes it a workplace for sci work. And also, a little bit rogue, I've gone for a workspace for chems as well, with a controlled growing environment, a lab and a still. And keen-eared listeners will have realised that gender seems to be a bit of a thing this season. And that's something my gear cutter gets involved with, gender. But more importantly than that is Perfidelity. She is Tar Minotaur's squire. She has decided, even though the knights are gone and dying, she would like to become one, and she sees a future for the Order. And perhaps maybe it is a future that will never pass, but there is still a future and she wants to be a part of it. So as the gear cutter, I have taken the classic move, Things Speak. So whenever I handle or examine something interesting, I can ask the MC questions, but if I miss the roll, I open my brain to the World Psychic Maelstrom and treat it as if I missed the roll. So the World Psychic Maelstrom really gets its hooks into me. And I have also taken, despite being likely the youngest out of all of the characters here, I've also taken often a right. So when other player characters come to my character for advice, Pure Fidelity will tell them what she honestly thinks the best course of action is. And if they do it, they take +1 rolls to any rolls they take, and I get to mark experience for doing that.
On the mouths of babes.
Mm.
Is gender one of the things that you cut into?
Would you like it to be?
I think what is interesting is finding out.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh yes, and I also get as the gear cutter ports of call. So these are places in the hard zone that I know and I go to, and I get ear to the ground, which essentially means at the beginning of the session or whenever there's a break in play, I get to name one of these ports of call and ask specific questions about it, which depends on my role. So I have chosen Polymarch's Fortress, where I have a trade agreement here. I've also chosen the Tower of St. Fulmina, where I know secret ruins where you can find ancient machinery. And Tree, I was thinking for my third port of call, I would like to choose Sakara's Regret, and specifically for lost treasure. You down?
Yeah. This is useful because then probably there is somebody here who deals in lost treasure as a part of the gambling. It's how the
I like
treasure
the
becomes
idea
lost.
that we go into the basement with a shovel and don't tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Won't worry about it.
All right.
I mean,
We're killing rats
could.
because we're knights, right? We're doing level 1 quests. You hire us to kill your rats, and we find lost treasure down in there.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorted.
That's how it goes.
I got a thing that kills rats real good.
Yes. None of these ports of calls is where your workshop is located, though.
No.
Is your workshop mobile or not?
No, it is not. So my workshop is located in another location, which is over her mouth.
Right. So that is a scary place in the river.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see.
Where else?
We develop it of it. Yep. Okay. So you are above a scary river. Very good. Lastly, let us introduce our fourth protagonist.
Oh, yes. So I'm playing the Harrier, and Harrier, it says here, we are the fires and the ashes of the world, we're the claws that rake the earth, we're the screaming machines that tear the roads to ruts and shake the ruined buildings, so on and so forth. So yeah, this is the hollering and screaming car-driving raiders that you might see in Mad Max. And my character, Lady Iskandarik, the leader of this gang, has turned up in Convergence Valley, I suppose not too long ago. And the idea, I think, is that if things have been bad in the valley and getting better and then getting worse again since the apocalypse, things have been complete shit outside. And so the fall of the Empire has attracted all sorts of reavers and raiders to pick it clean. And that's what I'm here for. And also for a bit of fun and exercise.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah. What else to say? Okay, moves. So yeah, the Harrier has some interesting moves. The first one, which is by default, is that when I turn up in a normal situation, something interesting might happen. And it's called Chaotic Presence. And when you and your gang enter a non-violent situation, I roll hard. And then depending on if I succeeded or missed, one of these could happen. Someone in your gang picks a fight. Someone here owes something to your gang. Someone in your gang wants to help or save someone here. Someone here has a loyalty testing connection with someone in your gang. Someone here is so afraid of someone in your gang that they leave. Someone here makes a huge show of welcome to someone in your gang. If I miss, then my most dumbass, which is a role that my gang does have, will do something, and I'll have to find out what it is.
Speaking of moves, Aadiyat, you're supposed to get one more.
Yes, I know. I'm getting to that
Okay.
because I haven't decided which one to take yet.
Okay. Thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, I think I was gonna
All
go
right.
for maybe scavengers and thieves. Maybe that seems interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that do?
Yeah. And what that does is, when something's hard to come by, even impossible to come by, or not available in any convenient market, have your gang search as panniers and saddlebags. On a +10, you've got just the thing, or better, on a 79, you've got just the thing, more or less. On a miss, someone robbed you, or someone in your gang is holding out.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Gorgeous. And now let's go in reverse order and introduce a little bit about your. Actually, do we want to do history first, or do we want to do equipment and living spaces first? Maybe it's better to do history first and then end on equipment and living spaces as we set the scene.
Mhm.
I think that might be better. I changed my mind. Let's do history first with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Going in reverse order. So, Lady Skandrik, do you have some history questions that set us up for your relationships with other people? Would you like to ask them?
I would. Mm-mm-mm. Which of you did me and my pack swoop in and save your life?
Ah,
So
Is this
I
a?
swooped in.
Could you? I think it's also good for us to specify which ones are for a specific person and which one is for multiple people to answer. This is a multiple people thing, right?
No, this looks like it's for the specific person because it says for that character, right? HX +2.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
so one of you has been saved by the gang.
Yes, one.
yeah. Sorry. Can we just get an explanation of what the questions mean and like why we're doing this thing? Like, what is HX?
Absolutely.
that.
So HX is
Mhm.
you have history with each other, which is a stat that you roll in the game. It represents your relationship with someone, how well you know them. And at the start of the campaign, we go around the group, and on your turn, you ask some questions to establish what history you have with the other characters that you start. And depending on your answer, you get a stat to your history with them, which can be the same as any other stats in the game. It can range from -3 to +4, I believe. -3 to +3, sorry. -2 to +3. It can range from -2 to +3. And yeah, it will affect your ability to help or hinder them during the game. So if you know someone better, then you are more capable of screwing with them. You're also more capable of lending them a hand. And so
It's
that's why
important.
we're asking these questions.
Yeah, and this isn't about how much you like someone.
No, it's just about how well you know them.
Yeah.
So, would you, with that context, would you mind repeating the question and then we can think about it?
Right. Yeah. So the first HX question for me is, which of you did me and my pack swoop in and save your life? So my gang saved one of you. Which is it?
I'm tempted to volunteer for this because I think it's really interesting if you saved the toughest person. Unless someone else had a really strong, like, I want to be that.
Yeah, I think that can be cool, having your life be saved. And I would like to suggest then, we can work this out together, but I would like to suggest, just as a bit of world building, that the person you were saved from was... Sorry, I'm trying to remember the names that we have established. Was Flagrants of the Catch You Fool Pack. Flagrants being the person who burned down the presidential palace and effectively destroyed your knightly order. And I think it's interesting if the raiders saved you from this person.
It's also interesting because Lady Iskandaric would consider Flagrants to be her rival.
Yeah, so it makes sense, right? You saved this knight from another raider, mostly as a point of pride, but you still did save a knight.
Yeah. You're welcome, Terminator.
Thank you.
Yep.
This
All
is
right.
an act of honor.
Good.
Nice.
All right. So
Cool.
hang on, let me just update my sheet. Which
That means you
updating-
know. So that means on your sheet, your HX with my character is 3. Right?
It's well. Do we start at
To
1?
that character, right?
Oh,
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Neat. All right. Question number 2. Which of you have called upon me and my pack to get violent revenge for you? For that character, write HX -1.
Yeah, I think I've asked you for a favor.
Okay.
And I think that in this case, it is because those who do not respect the rules of the regret must, in fact, learn regret. It's not a, particularly enjoyable task, but it's an important one and it needs doing, especially if I'm going to continue to do business here. And I think that I pay you in the manner that I pay most people, which is with words that, you can be trusted for at least this kind of work, and that you are welcome in my establishment.
Interesting. So it does say you write HX -1 though. So does that mean that we don't like each other, or we don't know much about each other?
You don't know
I
much
think-
about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how to interpret it. It means that you know less about Ahiri
Right,
than you
okay.
otherwise was, which I think is reasonable, because this is a person who has called upon you, hired you professionally, so you know them less personally. This is a
Yeah, makes
professional
sense.
and not very close relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sense.
It's also. You
No,
finish.
I was just going to say that for her, because it is purely professional, she would have been very straightforward and blunt, but also very reticent to give you any unnecessary details, right? So you're not about to meet her, then hang out, and if you were, it wouldn't be at the bar anyway, and she wouldn't be using the professional gender. But even if all of that was true, in this specific context, she would have said, "This is the job. If you want to take it, let me know. If you don't, that's fine. I'll find somebody else." Right?
Okay. Building upon this question, Ahiri, then, since we're lingering on this a moment, what is the penalty for breaking your club's rules? Like, what sort of revenge do you usually exact on these sorts of people? Is it death? Is it just a roughing up?
I think it's humiliation.
Okay.
And I think normally it is, if you apologize 9 times out of 10, a public apology is enough, right? Because it's about everybody else understanding that you can't do this kind of thing and walk free. But I'm also not about to just be red-handed, right? And just punch people for no reason. And I think in this case, it was someone who repeatedly did not respect the rules, kept probably trying to get the lost bet back, and they were like, "No, I didn't really mean to bet on this person. No, man, you lost your money. That's on you." And I don't wield my blade against people professionally. The blade is only wielded in the blade. I'm going to establish this. I think so. I have a cleaver, and I think the cleaver I only use in my personal gender. I think when I'm at the bar, I probably still have it, but to use it is actually quite a big, almost it's a faux pas, or it's a problem, because I would have become personal in the workspace, which you shouldn't do.
Maybe the cleaver doesn't like it either. It's like, not here.
Yeah. It's not the devil with the blade. It is the person with the devil blade.
Yeah.
The devil and the blade.
Yeah, indeed.
Nice.
Okay. Right. And so you were ordered, just to continue this storyline, because we're establishing the backstory of our characters here. So you asked for this person to be roughed up and humiliated. How do you think Iskandarik actually interpreted these rules? What do you think you do to someone that you have been ordered to rough up and humiliate, Iskandarik?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So I take Iskandarik and her gang are not opposed to, violence at all. So this would depend very much on if Ahiri wants this person to come back to the bar. Maybe whether it's about teaching them a lesson or using them as an example. Both are possible. Just you're the boss. You tell me what you want.
Okay, were there more elaborate instructions than this in that case? Or was it just improvise? I think this is important because it's telling us a little bit about Ahiri's character. Did you...
Yeah, I think in this case it is. I imagine this is like quite soon after you came to the valley, right? In part, this is also me learning about you. So I think I will have said, this is what they did. And it's not acceptable to do. They have rebuffed every polite and nice offer I've made to simply apologize to me in a public space. And so therefore, I have cast aside civility. And let us see. And like, I would not have said this, but in my mind, I'm thinking, let us see what these raiders will do.
Okay.
This.
Okay. In that case,
and it'll help me understand.
Yep.
Right. I think in that case, Lady Scanderick would interpret this as make an example of this person.
Yeah.
And upon finding them, would well, we haven't done any lines or veils yet, so for violence, but or anything. So we'll just say kill. You know, we don't need to detail anything. I think, but just kill them violently, and then maybe string them up on a public thoroughfare for all to see.
Okay. So they are dead as a result of this. Yep. Okay. I have arbitrarily decided to name this person Bingo Hammurabi.
Excellent.
All right,
I love this name.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for this. Yeah.
Bingo Hammurabi was killed by Iskanderik's gang. Yep. All right. Let us move on to your next history question.
Yes. The next and final history question. Which of you can I consider a genuine friend?
You know what? I think it's funny if it's me.
I know, yes.
Mhm.
We're
That is
best
very
friends.
Yeah.
That is very funny.
And I think we mentioned potentially doing projects for Iskandrik and her pack, right? So do you think I've made you something like particularly incredible that has kind of cemented our friendship, cemented our relationship here? Because that's my thinking.
Yeah. Particularly incredible.
I know
Ooh.
you suggested a helicopter at some point.
At some point,
which might be later on down the line. But is there something else? Maybe your bikes or similar?
Yeah. Hang on. So when
One thing I'll point
Zoheb...
out is that there's nothing here that says that you still have to have it.
That's true. Yeah. What comes to mind is, do you remember the thing that we saw at the Imperial War Museum? The
Yes,
that. How do you describe that? It's
I guess it's a technical. No, it's not a pickup truck, right?
It's not technical. It's an armored vehicle of.
See, we can't describe it. So maybe
That's the problem.
Maybe that's not ideal for an audio-based medium.
Correct. Yeah.
You made some sort of armored vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like an armored vehicle, but like it was something purpose made for, I forget which nation's army, but the parts looked like that had been just hammered in wherever they would fit. So, for example, the steering column is on the outside of the car.
Okay.
Which makes no sense. Right. Yeah. All
right.
The wheels, like it's okay. I know how to describe it. It looks like it's essentially like a cylinder of metal with windows cut out of it, with, I suppose, bulletproof glass, and then with rods and pipes and things like that, other things have just been bolted onto it. So it stands very tall. So this would make a very good kind of command vehicle, right? So you get a good view of the battlefield. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the kind of thing Perfidelity would make?
I think it's something that you rolled in with. because I explicitly did not choose a garage, which is a workspace for vehicles. So I think it's something you rolled in with, and I was able to work on because it was already functioning right. It was machinery versus a vehicle.
Yeah.
So I think it was upgraded.
Yeah. Ooh. The other thing I could have done is say that, take the rocket tubes upgrade and say that that's what I got from Fidelity.
Ooh,
Rocket
Yeah.
tubes.
nice.
Does that work?
If there's an option for rocket tubes, I always vote for that, insofar as I get a vote.
All right, why not? I'll read that out. I'll change the thing then. I mean, it's not much to read out because all it says is if I take hunter killers, then my gang carries portable rocket tubes. 4 harm. And does the range is close and far. Like, yeah,
It's pretty scary.
Yeah. Do you usually make weapons like this per Fidelity, or is this a rare exception in that case?
Yeah, definitely a rare exception.
Okay.
100%. Oh, I know. I think this is something I traded for in Polymarch's Fortress and worked on as a gift, as a thank you for saving my poor foolhardy mentor from her own foolhardiness.
Oh, it's all coming together.
Love it.
All coming together.
All right.
Cool.
So
I'll point out, just for Aadiyat's benefit, that the rocket tubes have the weapon tag concentrated fire, and you should read what that says in the MC rules and ref sheets. Just do it later, but you'll enjoy that.
This is a great moment, by the way. No, go on.
I was gonna say that I think I know what concentrated fire means.
No. It means something specific in this game. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a great moment for whoever the editor is to edit in what it means only for the audience. Like they do on real radio shows for the secret password.
I will just read it out. It says concentrated fire for weapons inflicting 4 harm or more. At the character's option, inflicts 1 environmental harm instead of 4 harm, 2 environmental harm instead of 6 harm, or 3 environmental instead of 8 harm. So with concentrated fire, you can just blow up the environment.
Great.
Yep.
2 environmental harm is enough to level most buildings.
Yep.
Neat.
Which, I mean, makes sense because it's concentrated fire with a bunch of rockets. So
yes.
That's all of your history questions, I believe. So shall we move on to the provider of rockets per Fidelity?
Yeah. Okay. So my first history question is, which of you seems to me like the biggest potential problem?
No,
so this is just for one character.
I mean, it would have to be either me or Terminator, right?
I think it's funny if it's Ahiri for some reason, but
okay.
I'm interested to find out what the reason is. Not gonna lie,
Yeah, I'll put you down as 2. So that's +2 history with Ahiri, and I think it's because you've named your bar is now named after the most politically tumultuous event to have happened to the valley. That's a problem. That's going to be a big problem. It means work for me, it means work for the knights, and it means that Terminator is never happy.
Listen,
most of the time.
All of these things seem like problems you've made up on your own time.
Oh, and you employ somebody I care a lot for.
I think it's
them into trouble.
I think it's just because you never know what Ahiri's pronouns are at any given moment.
No, you do.
Don't like that.
If it's professional,
there are clear rules for this.
I mean, I don't know how much more straightforward I can be. Your problem is your.
It's just hard to remember when the Psyche Maelstrom takes your memory away all the time.
Tree, have you seen Severance?
I have not yet seen Severance, but I do hear that there's an innie and an outie, just like belly buttons.
What it is that if you get the Severance treatment, then you your work memory and your like out of work hours memories are separated, so you can't remember your outside life during work hours, and you can't remember your work life during outside hours. So that's you, but with gender.
Wait, are you saying Severance has a gender dysphoria subplot in season 2?
Does it?
Aadiyat
But
is
you know what? What
describing
if it
its central
did?
conceit.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
But yeah.
Gang, we're getting
Yeah,
off topic
that's
a little
why.
bit.
That's why
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think
That's
it's a
true,
problem
that's coming.
because you could have because you believe in professional gender.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. Sicarius Regret is a big problem for Fidelity. I've noted it down as Sicarius Regret the venue rather than Ahiri, because I think while it's both, I think this is an interesting way to frame it.
Just makes sense. Also
Yeah.
because if I'd just chosen to name it the dog and donkey, then presumably there would be no problem. But that is not what I've chosen to name it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. What's your next question?
Yeah. So this one is for multiple characters. I go out into dangerous territory to salvage. Who usually comes with me?
I mean, I must.
Must
I
you?
think
I have a full-time job.
Yeah, they're my squire. They're going out in dangerous territory. What am I going to do? Pack their lunch for them and tell them have a nice day?
No, but
Okay,
what
that's
if what
how
if
my
what if
that's how I was
Perfidelity
raised.
has a secret life?
That's
Yeah,
why
what
I'm
if
going.
Fidelity is
To stop that.
What if Fidelity is the boy wonder? What are you going to do then, huh?
Well, there.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
You know how I know? Because I'm there.
All right.
To be clear, Fidelity is only she/her, right? Like not she/they.
No, just
Okay,
she, her.
Cool.
Does
is that-
Lady Skandrick also come? So, because the last question is, again for multiple people, do any of you abuse or really neglect your gear? So, I think Aadiyat, which one do you think is more interesting? That Lady Skandrick comes out to salvage with me, or that she really abuses or neglects her gear?
I don't think Lady Iskandaric would be abusing or neglecting gear. I think Lady Iskandaric's boys and girls and anyone else might be doing that kind of thing because they're worthless layabouts, but not Lady Iskandaric.
I think then it's interesting if we take the -1 for that because gear cutters, for anyone else or if no one volunteers at all, I'm more insightful about things than people, and I think it's interesting if I put you into your pack's box, like you're the one who lets your people mismanage your gear.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Beautiful.
Makes sense.
Okay, so you go out scavenging, Tarminotaur comes with you, and you accuse or you blame Lady Skandaric for the neglect of the gear. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that all your questions?
That's all of my questions. But I think Lady Skandrick herself keeps really good care of her gear. So it's even worse.
Yeah.
Like, I like you, but your pack are absolute scavengers and thieves. Get a grip.
I mean, that's what they're trained to be. So I don't know.
They're doing what they're supposed to. Can they not?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Ahiri.
Yes, I only have one question.
Brilliant.
Are any of you not my regulars?
You think I would ever sully you think I would ever sully my boots by stepping through that threshold, huh? With that name? Huh?
You would have to dig in the back, which is apparently something you do.
Oh yeah, that's true. Fuck. But not regularly. I'm not a regular. I think it's more interesting that way. Sometimes I'm there.
Interesting. Okay. Is
I
it?
don't know what we mean by regular. It has to be self-identified, and I don't think I self-identify as a regular. Is it fair?
I mean, a regular here is someone that say who, if they used my personal gender in the workplace, I would not immediately go, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Because could also be my friend.
I don't think we're friends.
Okay.
I think it's more interesting
No,
to start that way.
Yeah. All right. What about Iskandaric and Perfidelity? Are you regulars?
Iskandaric would have to be, right? Because
Yeah.
Ari's in the Cloud Bazaar is gonna be the kind of place that Iskandaric's visiting a lot to trade gear. And
Yeah,
talk
trade
about,
gear, and most importantly, I think keep your gang busy because
Yeah.
they seem like the sort of people to cause trouble when there isn't entertainment. So
Mm-hmm.
Iskandaric is a regular. What about Perfidelity? Are you or aren't you a regular? At Sicari's regret.
Yeah, why not? I think Perfidelity loves to come in and just look at you from across the bar
You're not the only
and
one.
go,
babe.
I need things.
Sorry.
And what
Let
does
me in.
Usually not
Terminator
for
do?
that reason, but sure.
What does Terminator do at times like this?
Disapprove.
Yeah.
My mentorship is not the type where I'm like, this is a strict list of things you can do, and here's a list of things you can't do. It's more like, here's a list of things that if you do, I'm going to be happy-ish. This is a list of things that if you do, I'm going to be disapproving or
Disappointed.
passive-aggressive about. Yeah.
Yeah. I dig it. All right, and that was
Very
your only
good.
question, and we've answered it for everyone. So Sicari's
Correct.
regret has its regulars.
But what does that mean
Cool.
for HX? Okay, so
I'm
I'm 2.
HX +2 with you because you're a threat, and I'm HX +1 with the others because they're my regulars, so I must know them.
Yeah. The Maestro D knows their regulars kind of well and knows interesting people who are not their regulars really well because you keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
So,
Correct. This is exactly why my regulars complain that I don't give them enough attention. And you know what? Such is life.
Such is life indeed. All right,
Very nice.
Tarminotaur.
I might ask these in random order. Do any of you actually honestly need protecting? This is for multiple characters.
Need protecting.
Actually and honestly.
I think normally I would say yes, because normally I think it's interesting if my character requires something from other characters. But I have decided that in this game, I'm going to be playing a chilled out competent type, which means I don't need protecting. Why would I need protecting?
Yeah, you also, I will point out, have the biggest gang as your regulars at the moment, so maybe they do the protecting.
You are not. No, see, I think it might have been an interesting answer to say, I do need protecting from the big gang that turns up regularly because they might wreck my shit, right?
Yeah,
but I think in this case, I don't need protecting from them because it's everybody else who needs protecting from them.
Okay. What about Iskandaric and Perfidelity? Do you honestly need protection?
So I think this is a question about the world generally, because like Iskandaric's gang is not the biggest gang,
No.
or not yet, no, or
Not necessarily,
like
at least, yeah.
not necessarily, and there are threats. So from a completely pragmatic point of view, Iskandaric might think that yes, I need to make useful alliances and things like that, which is needing protection. But maybe in front of this gang, showing weaknesses not, or showing that you need to depend on someone else is also not a great idea. So,
but that's not what the question is about. The question is, do you honestly need protection? It might be secretly. So I think it's interesting if the answer is yes, but honestly, but secretly, right?
It's up to you. There's also other options for my Ajax. So if it speaks to you, yes. Otherwise, we can do another one.
No, I think this is, and I'll take this opportunity to say that what I thought, like my relationship with my gang would be that while they're perfectly content with, raiding little villages and just, I suppose like, living small time, like picking up the small fry and being undisciplined and all of that, Lady Iskandaric is not content with that. And the main sort of, like, I guess the main arc here would be to get her gang to shape up and to prepare for like a proper campaign. Right? Yeah. So I think then I honestly do need protecting because as I start to make moves, that'll put a target on me, and I need friends. So
Nice. That's a 2. What about Perfidelity?
Yeah, I think Perfidelity honestly needs protecting.
Fair enough. Okay. Then there's 2 options still for Ahiri. I'm going to ask the more interesting one to me. Have any of you fought shoulder to shoulder with me? Did you do that?
Oh.
Because if it's a no, then I have the more obvious question to ask, but I thought I'd ask this one first.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm wondering whether there is. Let me think. Yeah, sure. Why not? I think that I have fought shoulder to shoulder with you, and I have fought against the raiders or roving gangs or whoever it was who was here before Lady Iskandric. And they became a problem, and they were very annoying to deal with. They made a huge mess of things, and I think at one point basically came down to, are we in the Cloud Bazaars or even in the Valley just like gonna tolerate this, or we're gonna kick them the fuck out? And then we decided to kick them out. So it was like very much an alliance of convenience, but it was an alliance, not of convenience, of necessity, but it was necessary. And I don't think anything but necessity would have really made the two of us trust each other with our lives, potentially, right?
Yeah.
And even in that fight, I did not use a blade, right? Like that was again, I think, for Ahiri work.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you see a blade come out, you're in trouble.
Then maybe I loaned you my revolver during that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. I like this because then I think like it really cuts that you would betray me with this name. Like, and again, I'm not saying you betrayed me with the name out of character. What I mean is in character, that's
sure.
how I see it. Maybe, I don't know your motivations for the name, and I think it'd be interesting to find out, but Terminator glowers about it. I'm still going to mention my other question in case that's interesting to you, but I like the distraction. Do any of you think that I am the problem?
Yeah, I think for me it's that if I thought you were the problem, I would solve you. You know, like, I mean, Hammurabi was a problem. I dealt with the problem.
Nice. Okay.
Cause that's what's necessary, right? So.
Yeah. And I think sort of like falling out of friends who still know each other well is more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's my just questions.
Cool. I don't know if anybody else has this, but the Maestro D has a ton of like NPCs, which I've come up with most of them, but not all of them. But I don't want to just be like, here are all the NPCs. So
no, we'll introduce them a little bit as we do our characters. I am going to step in here, and if you drove out this previous gang, do they presumably still exist? Are they wiped out of existence? This gang that you kicked out, or have they been run out of town?
I think they've just been run out of town.
Yeah,
but they're still around, right?
Yep.
They may even seek to return to take back what they think is theirs, or just for revenge. Why should they have some kind of highfalutin? This is how I say this word, by the way, highfalutin.
Yes.
Why should they have some kind of highfalutin desires? It could just be they thought they're better than us, and they're not.
Yeah, spectacular. I'm going to do a bit of a callback to Apocalypse World games we played before, not on the pod, and call this gang the Carnival.
Very good.
Because I think it's a good
all
name
of
for a gang.
them, yeah, all of them
Yeah.
have the gender clown.
Ah, perfect.
I like
And-
this, but I think it might cut a bit close to my vibe for Flagrants and the Culture Full Pack.
Ah, okay. They're also this sort of theming.
Yeah, sorta. I haven't talked much about it, but it's like, the Culture Full is like a card game,
Hmm.
and she looks
Yeah.
like a harlequin, stuff like that. So I'm just
Yeah.
flagging.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
not
actually
imagining the
gonna
carnival
say-
to be.
Yeah,
I was
going
actually
to
not
say these are
imagining the
horror
carnival.
clowns.
Yeah, I was
Mm.
not even imagining the carnival to be clown themed necessarily. I was going with carnival, as in like
Okay,
just a big party.
then go for it. Go for it.
Or
Yeah.
depends if we're interested in it. But you know what's airing at the moment? Yellow Jackets. I want them to be a gang of teenagers.
Yep. Okay.
I think they should be
Oh,
teenage wilderness cannibals.
teenage wilderness cannibals.
Teenage
Salty, I
wilderness
would like you
cannibals
to know.
called the carnival because they love meat. Yeah, there
Or
you
the
go.
Bacchanal.
Or the bacchanal
I think Carnival's better.
because it has meat in the name. Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
with
Oh,
carnival.
Carnival. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I like that. They're called the carnival because they love meat and they are cannibals. Yep.
Spelled with
And
an E, not an
By
I.
this time, they're probably, this was probably a while ago, they're probably like middle-aged teenage girl cannibals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a vibe.
Okay. Is that all the HX questions?
Yes, I think so.
Because that leads us actually into discussing lines and veils, which we should do a little bit. We have done this a little bit before we record, of course, and we have played together before. But I think it's good to mention themes that might be of interest to this game. So, yeah, we have a couple of things that have been standardized before the game. I'm wondering if we need to modify these in any ways, and they are.
Shall we have a quick explanation of what lines and veils means for any listeners who are just listening to the podcast?
Yes. If you are not familiar with lines and veils, they are a safety tool to ensure that we don't touch upon content that we feel unsafe about. And this is why it's also good to reiterate them for you, the listener, so that you know what not to expect. Because, I mean, everything we play out is improvised. Everything we play out is made up on the spot. So it's good to talk through lines and veils to make sure that we don't accidentally come upon a topic that we are uncomfortable with.
And we will, if we end up going into content that we feel some listeners may be concerned about, you will always have, both in the description and in the prelude of the podcast itself, a warning saying this is likely to come up. This is because, especially in the post-apocalypse, we will touch on themes that may not be comfortable for everyone. So it's important for you to feel safe in terms of listening, and then us to feel safe in terms of playing.
Yes. So what we will not touch upon, what we have decided is there will not be, does not appear, what is lined, is sexual assault, suicide, and self-harm. Is not to be featured in these stories, grim as they may be. These are topics that we will not bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add to this list of lines if we start there? Just content we will not touch no matter what.
I would like, I think in the post-apocalypse, often scarcity, which leads to death, is like a very common theme, right? It's certainly a common theme in base apocalypse world, in which even the kind of city we're talking about now, like we generally don't tend to do that. But I would like, like death as a result of like a lack of like starvation, or a lack of water, that kind of thing. That to be something that like at least if it's going to happen, that it be on the horizon, that we know about it, right? Rather than it be completely something that's a natural disaster that we have no way to stop. Mostly because I think it's both somewhat uninteresting, but also it is. There are loads of people who are dying for lack of access to this kind of thing now, and I don't think it's necessarily a theme that is that I can explore safely and interestingly.
Yeah.
How about check first?
Yeah, are we calling this a check
yeah.
first? Yeah, because I think it doesn't sound like something that we will not touch upon at all, but we will touch upon it delicately.
Yeah.
I think is the
Yeah, in that, I mean, we all know that Apocalypse World straight up has deprivation harm as a harm that can be done. I mean, none of us are playing the lawbearer who can bring water deprivation against a target as one of their moves. But I think it's still something, we should be checking in on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Alright.
like what I am actually saying is like kind of in that way, it's like mass starvation, right? It's like whole groups of people who are suffering in this fashion. I understand that, like, I think I'm a bit more okay with, but sorry, go on.
Yep, I get that vibe. So what we're saying is, as a line, then we're talking about like population destroying disasters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're like drawn out. I think one of the things that because we that's what we're kind of seeing in person, right? So like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Then we have marked that. We have also got some veils of things that will be in the story, but we will not describe in detail. And the only thing we have on that category at the moment is sex. So like sex will be featured. We are featuring the sex moves from older versions of Apocalypse game as an option here if people want to try them, but we will not be describing sex in detail. It will be a fade to black situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything we want to add to the fade to black situation, as in it will be in the game, but we will not discuss it in detail?
I think I'll just add that we just picked sex moves, or as they were called, specials, as they actually are called, from second edition that we felt matched up with the vibe of our characters. But have a look at those, and I'm talking to the players here. Like, have a look at the ones that were given to you, if they actually like match up with what you're thinking.
All right, I think we don't have to go into much more detail about that. And then we have what we just discussed, marked as checked first, and then we also have some lures. Excited to see, and to that we have now added cannibalism and memory loss and false memories as things that appeal to us and content that certainly will be included.
Well, more like to talk about this stuff. Like, I like cannibalism as a theme. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But we're not suggesting that like what we mean by this is we want to see people eat each other necessarily. I mean, like, no offense to people who are into war, but like, no, I know go on.
This is just themes that, as we are telling the story, these are themes that will be featured in the story and that are intentionally featured in the story, right? We've just added cannibalism to that list.
Yeah, I would like to add unreality and false consciousness a little bit to this as something both that I would like to see, but also to check first about.
Okay.
Yeah. It is both. I'm interested in seeing it, but I would think if we're going to be involving it, I'd like it to be handled carefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So putting that as a check first, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I want to see. It's a little bit like... listeners, if you've not read Jay Dragon's article on, I believe, this new safety tool Jay's made, it's kind of in the dangerous content I want to play with. But please check in on me after that kind of square.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to be really annoying about gender the whole time.
Okay. That's wonderful.
And by this I do mean that like I'm interested in this idea of gender being something that's relational, that's like space and context dependent. And I understand that like for us, it tends not to be the case. So it's like confusing, but like there's no reason for that confusion to be something inherent to their world in the same way that for some people in the Marvel universe, calling him Tony Stark sometimes and Iron Man sometimes is like a conscious choice, right? Like when they're referring to him as Iron Man, they are referring to a superhero person. When they're referring to him as Tony Stark, they're referring to what is that, like those Playboy sex pot something, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like that is something that like I'm interested in seeing because I think it's something that Ahiri like thinks is a very useful tool and will make others who work for her professionally do, but will also tell people who know him personally to like employ because it's good practice.
You'll have to remind me out of character about this because I don't think Terminator will be getting it wrong intentionally, but I might get it wrong
Yeah.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
Mm.
We will get used to it. But we're getting into a world where people speak and think about these things a little bit differently. And as with many fantasy and other world games, you may need a reminder occasionally. It's no stranger than that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Graphic violence has been put on Veil Fade to Black, but I would like to put violence as inherent content. I think that's important.
Mm.
Violence is a thing, yeah, but I mean, that does not mean we have to describe it in detail. So veiling
Exactly.
graphic violence makes sense.
But the reason I'm pointing out it as inherent content is that things are going to get violent, and
Oh, yeah.
we should trust each other to be able to do that.
Makes sense.
There's some other stuff. Age gaps in intimacy was added. How do we feel about this?
Added in what square? Sorry.
Oh, it was just added as a thing to check in on. Like, is it a
Oh.
line for anyone? Is it a veil for me? I feel nothing about this. It's not an interest. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, in that way, I kind of consenting adults, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
People who are maybe on the edge of consent, even in our real world, understanding that like Akbar was 14 years old when he went to war or whatever. Yeah, I think it's a check-in on. That would be useful for me.
Okay.
And like Akbar was genuinely 14 when he murdered people. Like, who are we to say
Yeah.
anything really?
Okay, let's put it as check first. Memory loss and false memories have been put as excited to see. We talked about that already, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? Memory loss. I don't remember anything.
Ha.
Physical
I see what you did there.
abuse. And I put that in because Salty and I were talking about Charminator often like disciplining perfidelity physically.
Okay.
And I think like sometimes quite violently as a
Okay.
means of like enforcing rule. I don't think we will be seeing it all the time, but it's something that might happen. So it's something to check in on. Like, obviously, it's not. We will not present it as like this is just how things should be or whatever, but it's an element of the character's relationship that we were interested in. Which doesn't mean that we're going to insist upon this if other people are made uncomfortable about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for me in the context. I think in any case, we are not focusing on graphic violence. I don't know what kind of this kind of like violence would look like, but I think it's interesting if it's like somebody who takes it as penance, right? Like it's part of the process, rather than like it's I'm punishing you for doing something wrong. It is this is
Consensual
something that
physical
like,
abuse.
yeah, something like that, right? Like the people who do this kind of thing for religious purposes, sometimes it's for sexual purposes, whatever, right? Like they are not. This is not happening to them against their will.
Yeah. So I guess it's like if you walk in on a situation where a warlord is, I don't know, using like the cat of nine tails on their lieutenant and everyone's watching, we won't be like, whoa, Holly, what are you doing? Cut that out. We'll be like, that's not great. And then do something about it if we want to. Like, it's just something that can happen.
Yeah, it's just something that can happen, right? Like, and it's something that like you understand that people who generally exist in highly rigid kind of like this kind of culture, they may well like develop a system of penance like this. And obviously there will be people who will say, I don't believe in this, and there will be people who will say, well, actually, there is, just like the flower wars we were discussing, there is a kind of violence that we accept as inherent to our world, and therefore building resilience to that violence is something that like we do think is an important like thing that we do.
Okay. How about we put it as expected content, but we'll also check in on the others if it's like between players.
Sure.
All right.
Speaking of, what if is it okay if I rename check first to check first / after?
Sure.
Because I
It
didn't
can even just
sometimes
be check, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sometimes it's like you don't know that it's a bit difficult thing until after it's happened, and then you want to
Yeah.
be reassured.
Okay.
What else is there? Oh, tree. Because I remembered this from before. You have incest is a line for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's put that down there.
Yeah, it almost never comes up, I guess.
No,
but yeah.
it could. It could.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And on the subject of this sort of thing, torture. Some people feel very strongly about torture. I don't really feel anything much beyond. We have already lined graphic violence. So for me, it's like torture would be a veil.
Yes, I would prefer a veil on torture. I think that to the
I
extent
just don't
that
find it
evidence...
interesting. It's very boring to me.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think it's worth spending any time
to
on.
the extent there exists, how you say, evidence, it also suggests that torture as a way of intelligence extraction doesn't work. I guess I'm interested in the answer to the question, do we think the genre of game we're playing in suggests that actually torture does work? I mean, and that can be like a very unrealistic thing for us to like understand, but like in the apocalypse, often in the media that we consume about it, right? And like, yeah, I'm okay for the answer to be yes or no, but like, I think actually we'd be interested to get an answer to that question, so that like, it can be also like an in-universe opinion that some people can hold.
Yeah, I'm also not very interested in it, but we can put it under veiled, perhaps, with a note that we're also not interested in it. Like
Sure, yeah.
it's not like it will never come up, but if it does, it will be veiled and not focused on. Yep.
Sometimes the warlord that you hate is torturing people.
Yeah, perhaps.
So it's more,
Things
it's like
this,
that.
It may be
If you
implied.
like,
Yeah.
And
it's
the
like that.
warlord should be advised that there are more interesting ways to be interesting. Don't be boring.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Do we feel happy about this, or is there more we ask? I'm sorry if I'm hurrying things along, but
No.
just
So I'll just add that I don't find torture boring.
okay.
So I don't want that to be a consensus that we find torture boring. It's okay if some of us do, and then we can avoid that. But
Yeah.
I don't find it boring.
Sure.
Okay. We veil it.
Aadiyat has not said a word during this entire sequence. Are you there? Are you still there?
Oh, huh. I accidentally muted my mic. I was saying things the whole time.
Oh God.
Oh no.
But mostly agreeing. So when no one said anything in response to what I said, I was like, I didn't feel like no, I was just like torture. Not particularly interested in it. I mean, at least for my character, if other people are torturing. If characters are torturing each other, including my character, I don't particularly have a problem with that.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean to move things along a little bit. I'm looking at our time constraint here, and we have about
Not
40
much.
minutes left on the clock. What I would like to do now is I would like to get at least some scenes rolling, get things started up if there's time. So what I'd like for everyone to do is really quickly introduce any interesting gear, equipment, clothing, etc. that they have, like just describing what your character owns and what it looks like briefly, and then also your barter description, how you make a living, how you get the things you trade for.
And then a 5-minute break. It's okay.
Yes, a 5-minute break after that, and then we will get into the scenes. That was just about what I wanted to say. But before we get to the 5-minute break, I would also like to introduce the move that you make with your barter thing, which is called live, make it, live day today.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's my thinking. So can we? You know what we will do? We will make your introduction, describe your character, describe how they make their money, and then roll their barter and live day to day.
Okay.
We can start with. Let's start with the two people who have a strong connection. Actually, let's start with Tar Minotaur and then Per Fidelity. Okay. So Tar Minotaur, what do you own and how do you make money?
Yes. So I own a suit of armor, which is the suit of armor that Knight President Casador Sicari was wearing. Or at least I own most of it. It is a beautiful piece of armor made of satellite metal, which is traditionally what knights make their suits of armor out of. It is gorgeous. However, it is missing the helmet, which is why I'm wearing an ugly sort of like great helm that's basically like a bucket. Yeah. It on my armor, I also have like a bolted-on piece, so to kind of like disguise and also protect me because the armor did break when she fell down from the tower. I have this bolted-on piece of metal that has my personal coat of arms, which is a stag with lightning and antlers. For weapons, I have quite a few because I'm the volatile. But the two most interesting ones are my blade thrower, which I have an idea of what this looks like, what a blade thrower is, and I will describe it. But it is clipped onto my suit of armor. Also clipped onto my suit of armor is what makes me the flame, which is I have a flamethrower.
Nice.
Yeah. What else? I have prosthetics. Yes, my left arm, left forearm is a prosthetic. It's a beautiful chrome thing that, however, also whispers to the world's psychic maelstrom. And I also have a left leg prosthetic, which is reliable but bulky and noisy.
Yeah.
I have a house, but we don't need to talk about that now. We'll see it in play. I wear a big overcoat. That's also a thing I own. Let's talk about my barter.
Yeah,
I get
your
by on
scavenge options.
Yes.
Your scavenge choice. Yeah, how you make a living.
I get by on jobs and trading favors. I won't straight out rob people or murder them for their goods, even when they're down on their luck. I am the last true knight in this way. Well, not the last one. There's a few others, but a lot of other knights are going around doing this. I don't do that. I'm a decent person. This leaves me the barter 0.
Okay, so you basically don't have a steady source of income, is how I read this. Like, you get by on, as it says, jobs and trading favors. You don't make use of your violent nature to enrich yourself, which is why you're not very rich. Please give me that roll, because I want to think about it during the break.
Oh, we don't have a roll channel. Okay, we'll figure it out later. Yeah, but for now, it roll 2d6. Nice, it's a 4.
Okay, so that means, just getting us used into the rules of the game now, we're introducing your character. But at the start of our game, Tar Minotaur the Knight has the following. I will read out the move. At the beginning of the session, roll barter. On a miss, which is what you got, ask the MC what's hard and what's impossible. If you're interested in a specific resource, you can ask the MC about that specifically. So something is hard for you to get, something is impossible for you to get. Do you have any ideas for what you want it to be, or do you want me to answer this? You can think about that, actually. We can get back to it.
I'll think about it. I'll look at the list of resources.
Yep, please keep that in mind. But you are in a tough situation when our story starts. Lovely. Perfidelity. Tell us about your possessions and your scavenge.
Yes, I shall. So, Perfidelity similarly it's not nearly as nice. It's this kind of squire's armor. It's rough. Well, it's rough and ready. It is not made from satellite metal like her mentors is. But she's done her best to create something that's a little more beautiful than everything else around. And her clothing is very immaculate, very delicately mended, and it's all sized for somebody else. But however, despite that, it's loose where it should be loose and tight where it should be tight, and it's always kept clean and sweet smelling, even when it's sweat soaked, even when it's blooded, as a knight is always beautiful. Lots of piercings through pretty much every piece of flesh that she has, and they still ache a little. And importantly, Perfidelity does have a prosthetic, and it's a jaw prosthetic. It's ornate and fragile, well integrated with the meat, but again, the psychic maelstrom whispers to her through it, and I think perhaps even speaks through it sometimes, because it's the jaw. I think that's interesting. And, oh yes, she also has woven rope and harness support for the left side of her body as she was born, a little weaker on that side, with these kind of dangling hooks and rings, again, aping her mentor that have, like, you can kind of snap a support crutch into place. She doesn't always need that support crutch, so when she doesn't need it, the hammer instead, her demolition hammer, which is her personal repurposed weapon, is bolted in there. And yeah, so my scavenge option is you always have an abundance of interesting and useful things to trade. I have barter +1.
Okay, so yeah, you just have stuff to trade. You have gathered a bunch of things. Yeah, please roll
Yeah.
that for me with a +1, and let's see how you're doing at the start of our story.
Not very well either. That's a 5.
So that's a 5. So it is the same for you. 2 to 6 is a miss. 7 to 9 is a mixed success. 10 plus is a full success for those not familiar with Apocalypse World. And this is a miss, which means that you too have a situation where something is hard to get, something is impossible for you to get. Yeah, I ask you to please think about this. If you have any ideas, otherwise I will tell you.
There's a list of resources on page 12 of the MC rules and ref sheets.
Thank you for pointing this out.
And I pointed out because it's an interesting list.
Yep. All right. So both Perfidelity and Tarminotar start in a rough spot. What about Lady Iskandaric? Lady Iskandaric.
Yes, Iskandaric.
Mhm.
Iskandaric, a bit like Iskander.
Yes. Yeah.
Relating to
I forgot where the ick was in the name. That was what threw me off.
Oh, yeah. Cool. So starting with description.
Starting with description of your possession, clothes, etc. What interesting things do you own? And you can dare to also include your gang if you like, just what they own and.
Sure, I can maybe introduce the gang as well. In fact, where'd they go? They were on my character sheet, and now they're gone.
It's we're back. There you are.
Oh, there they are. Oh, okay, neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, Lady Iskandaric. I want to be honest. I didn't think too much about what kind of interesting things she might own. The only thing that I did think about would be that the armor that she and the gang wears is like lamellar armor, but not purpose-built lamellar armor. Obviously, it's the apocalypse. So whatever they've managed to like get that's metal and sufficiently thick, cut it into pieces, tied together with ropes and a string here, bolts there, but to make it look like a uniform and not like they're wearing junk, it's painted like bright red, which is also cool for I feel like Iskander is the kind of person who's like wants to make a show of we're here and that it's us even from a distance, right? It's a bright red. I suppose as a sort of touchstone, I don't know if anyone here or in the audience knows about like Naomasa, one of the Tokugawa's generals, red guards. So, samurai armor, bright red, but but like roughed up. Just imagine that, but made out of junk.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love this person. I'm so glad that she's my friend.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're also driving four-wheelers, all of you, huh?
Yes, we are all driving four-wheelers. This is true. We have rocket tubes, as established not too long ago.
Yes, you have four-wheelers and rocket tubes. That is an image. Yeah.
And we are bright red, yes. So, and in my gang, there's 15 people, which is 11 regulars plus 4 substitutes. Pretty good makeup for any team.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think you have yet said a very important fact about your team.
That this is a team of 11 people who are called the Red Demons. No, I mean, I don't know what you could be referring to. Tree. No, nothing at all.
Yeah. No, nothing. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Beautiful.
And the character's called Iskander. No, nothing. Nothing to see here, folks.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Yep.
That's all, folks.
And
that's all. Should I introduce the main?
Yeah. Tell us real quickly about your the people you have named on your team because it's funny.
Yeah. So my most dumbass. Actually, no. Let's do it the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Because I've got my lieutenant or lieutenant, if you prefer,
Mhm.
who I've named.
If you're called the Red Demons, it has to be Lieutenant. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lieutenant. Yeah, and who's called one word, Luka Modric.
Hmm.
Don't sue me. My best scout is Cartometric. My best fighter is Speed Freak. My most ambitious is Egocentric. See if you can see a pattern here, folks. My most ruthless is Rhetoric. And my most dumbass is Thick as a Brick.
Nice.
The way you have named your gang is incredible. I love this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Zoheb said that Iskandaric doesn't mean anything, but it clearly does, because, it means relating to Iskandar.
Yes.
And if spheric is something like a sphere, then Iskandaric is something like Iskandar.
I withdraw my objections.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add, or do you want to describe your scavenge option?
No, I think that's all. So let's go to scavenge option. Yeah, I do sell myself as bodyguards, skirmishers, couriers, mercenaries, and all that. So I have barter +2.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
You are mercenaries, so you live pretty well. And
Yeah.
please roll that for me with a +2.
Someone please remind me what the syntax is. I keep forgetting.
Exclamation mark, roll,
Yeah.
space, 2d6 +2.
That's the one. It
Mhm.
shouldn't be hard to remember. I've rolled well, I think.
Yeah, you have rolled well. So you are on the opposite end of the spectrum from your poor colleagues. On a 10+, ask the MC what's free and what's easy. So you can also look at these resources if you would like to think on it. Otherwise, I will actually. Do you have the option to suggest it on a 12+? This is.
I think it's
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, if
you
you're
can always
interested
ask
in a
about the
specific
ones.
resource, you can ask the MC about it specifically. So you may ask me if there's something you're interested in being free and easy. One or two things that are available in abundance to you, or I will tell you when we get back from the break. And,
all right, maybe I'll think about it over the break. Yeah.
And last but not least, our Maestro D, Ahiri.
Indeed, good day. Now, it's my understanding that the venue takes care of me. At the beginning of the session, you don't have to live day to day. You have barter too, but who cares? This is what your life is always like. Oh no, that's a standout. Wait a second. I was looking at the wrong sheet. My bad. Scrolling. Yeah, I was wondering. Wow, that's so nice. I don't have to worry about it. No, there is no such thing in my list, so I will roll. Give me a second.
Do you want to tell
What
me
stat-
first what you own and what your scavenge option says?
Yes. Okay. So I live in this wonderful venue called the called the what? Yes, called Sicari's Regret. Sorry, that's where I work. I do not live there. I live about a 10-minute walk away because that's previously established. A separation between the spheres is important.
Nice.
I spend most, if not all of my time either at the venue or somewhere that's none of your business because only my professional persona is permitted to be seen by the public. You have to get to know me for anything else. And
I love this so much. Tree.
Indeed, thank you. It's what if Batman was just a guy, which, as I say it out loud, may well be true. I was kind of like making fun, but it may be true. Anyway, what does Ahiri look like? I think professionally incredibly sharp, always dressed impeccably, right? Knows exactly where to get the best jingle in the bazaar, and goes her own way in terms of the look, right? Doesn't follow anyone else, which means that sometimes she will look quote unquote strange to you, but that's a you problem. You just don't understand fashion, and there's nothing I can do about that. And I think that there is a very like when you see Ahiri outside, he's dressed very comfortably. That's the key thing, right? Linen pants, shirt with the sleeve rolled up, hat to keep the sun out, that kind of thing. Quite practical more than anything. And yeah, I think that is the main thing about Ahiri that you should know. He has a very sharp knife, and that's about it. That's the important fact.
Very good. And you roll not only for your own, if I understand this correctly, not only for your own living day-to-day, but also for your venue. There is a move called Wealth for that.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
But I believe you roll for both. Contradict me.
At once? Yeah. Oh, no, you mean... yes, because they're different moves. Wealth is about the
venue.
And then living day-to-day is about me.
Yeah.
And I've currently put myself in Scavenge as... I work so I can eat. I don't have any extra barter.
So you have barter plus 0. Everything you make goes into the venue. All right?
Right.
So please roll with a plus 0 to see how you do personally.
Yeah. It's an 11.
Okay, so you also are in a situation where something is free and something is easy. And then you also, at the beginning of the session, if your holding or venue is secure and stable, you roll with plus hard.
Yes. Now, something that I did, I don't know that we mentioned what the stats are in this game, but they are very straightforward in a way. They are aggro, cool, hard, sharp, and weird. And all of them do what they say on the tin. And I normally like to play very strange characters. Long-time fans of the podcast will know this. Long-time knowers of me will know this. But in this case, I have chosen to take -1 in weird because Ahiri is not interested. Leave me the fuck alone. Whatever my...
We now have a move for your venue, which is rolled with hard, and when you roll hard, you also mark the stat ones. This is different from second edition of Apocalypse World, where you only care about some stats. In this game, you care about every stat. Whenever you roll it, you make a note on your character sheet that you have rolled it. This is how you get XP and advance.
Yes. So I am rolling 2d6 +1 because I have +1 hard. And I rolled a 10.
Nice.
Oh, you are doing well for yourself. So, for your venue...
I'm cool.
Yeah, for your venue, what this means is, during the session, your holding or venue has all of its surpluses.
Yay.
As it should.
Yeah, and do you want to tell me quickly your venue's usual surpluses?
Yes, my venue surpluses at the beginning of this game are... I get +1 barter and gossip and news.
So we should have rolled them in the other order, actually, because the barter might have mattered to your living day-to-day.
Oh, yes.
But it doesn't matter, because you rolled really well on it. But
yeah, I would have rolled a 12, right?
Yeah.
So
note for next time. So yeah, when your venue does well, you do a little bit better personally, and there's also an abundance of gossip and news. Lovely. Shall we take...
Oh, wait. Salty has to roll their ports of call.
Yes. That's also a beginning of session move, isn't it?
Yes.
I missed that. Sorry.
Well, it's ear to the ground. So at the beginning of the session, I name the location of one of my ports of call or another location I care about in a roll plus cool. So, you know what? Let's go for the Tower of Saint Fulmina. I care about what's going on there, and that is my location where I know secret ruins where I can sometimes find machinery. So my cool is +1.
And please also mark that as you're rolling with it.
Yes. And that's a 4. So on a miss with ear to the ground, word reaches you that somebody there wants my blood. Ask the MC who. And I should have made this move before I lived today.
Yep. We did them in the other order. That's okay. So things are going extremely poorly for Perfidelity at the beginning.
That's okay. We
Love
can fix it. Do you
Okay.
want me to tell you the resource I'm interested in now, or do I just write it to you in the break?
Write it to me during the break. Write down
Cool.
during the break if you have any ideas. Let's
Yeah. 5
take
minutes.
a 5-minute break, and then we'll see
Cool,
what
cool,
we do
cool.
after that, because we have spent a little more time than I
Yes.
thought.
Holly, did you
right
say that there was a list of resources somewhere
Page
for me
12.
to? Page
Yeah,
12.
but
If you go to the reference sheet on the character keeper,
Mhm.
and go and scroll down to barter, you'll then see resources under
thank you.
barter.
Thank you. All right. Cool.
Okay, Steven 5.
In 5.
So, have you guys thought about resources you want? Starting then with Lady Iskander. Something for you is free and something for you is easy. And you had suggestions.
Yes, I would like, being new in town, I would like connections, I think.
Okay.
That's nice.
Mhm.
And I would like... Actually, there's also news as something. So maybe what I would actually like is not connections, but I would like news. And I
News,
would like... Oh, why not? I mean, a lot of these seem kind of similar. There's living space, security, shelter.
I have a suggestion for you.
Mhm.
If what you want is interesting news, I think that interesting news are free and discipline is easy, because discipline is one of the things, meaning your gang is for once behind you.
Okay.
That was what I was suggesting. So it's not that, discipline is automatic, but your gang is on board with what you're doing as the situation starts out. Which means that you don't immediately have to roll to keep them in check. Is that good to you?
That sounds good to me. Thank you.
All right. So, Lady Iskander is in a situation where news are free, discipline is easy. Ahiri, I have a suggestion for you, but do you have anything you would like to request with your success?
I actually don't, so I'm happy
Okay.
for your suggestions, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I'm telling you is security is at the moment free. You are safe and secure.
Oh, that's
you
great.
do not have to
Mhm.
worry about it. And what is easy to you to get to is Bloodkin. And this is Bingo Hammurabi's Bloodkin, who have been out to get you for some time for the murder of their relative.
nice.
Very good. Yes,
Very
I love
good.
this.
So I will read this in a second, but or I will describe it
before
more,
you-
but if that's acceptable to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you go on, my wealth, sorry, it's always something move.
Yeah.
Also gives me 2 wants, which we didn't mention.
Okay.
But it's useful now because the 2 wants of my venue currently are shifting patronage and drama. And the drama is very clearly Hammurabi-related drama.
Yeah.
Right? So I think I just wanted to note that is one of the things that is annoying me.
Okay. So I will tell you 2 who are doing good what is going on, and then I will switch to the other 2 who are doing poorly.
Okay.
Right.
So I will start with Lady
Joke's
Iskander.
on you.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
And the news that you have found for free is that the Tower of St. Fulmin is one of the landmarks of this valley. It's really of this region, one of the central things. It's where the presidential palace used to be before it burned down. And today it is mostly kept by quite religious people. It is a place of wealth and abundant technology. It is one of the ports of calls for the gear cutter who normally goes there to find useful objects, right? There are secret ruins near the Tower of St. Fulmin where you can sometimes find ancient machinery and so on. This ancient machinery is by a woman named Angelica at the tower to make various kinds of prosthetics and interesting things. And it is also a hospital. So, it's a valuable place. The people of this place, value it highly for its use in providing medicine, providing treasure, and so on. The news that come to you is that the Tower of St. Fulmin is in fact free, because Angelica's bodyguard, Fennec Garibaldi, has set off with a small crew of their security out into the wilderness for some reason.
And
And
Angelica is not willing to charge without the...
Well, Angelica she's not defenseless, but her main fighter, this Fennec Garibaldi,
Yes.
who is a clever sniper, and a rather ruthless person who is keeping this place safe, is away. Which means that the many treasures of the tower are notably unguarded at the moment.
Yeah. I think Tree was confused by which sense of free was meant here.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Free as in available. Yeah.
It's free real estate.
Yeah, it's free real estate. It's something that you can... There are things there that you can quite easily take. These are the news that reach you. This is why news is free. And your gang, since I said discipline is easy, your gang is on board with pretty much like however you want to play this. So normally I think your gang would shout at like, let's just run in and steal everything that isn't nailed down. But now you have some opportunity to play this. And so my first question to you is, do you have a home at the moment? Or are you nomadic? Do you have like a place that you're settled down?
No, I think we're nomadic. So I'm not
case,
sure what.
You can tell me where you're making camp at the moment. Like describe it as this news reaches you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if we're nomadic, like say like Mongols are nomadic, where they're picking their tents up and then setting up camp somewhere else, or if we're nomadic in the sense that, I mean, there's only like 15 of us, so we can just hop from town to town and right. And I think it's maybe the latter. So yeah. I suppose we are the guests of our in some village, and the guests is in quotes.
Okay, are you guests at Sicari's Regret, actually? Do you live at Sicari's Regret at present? You can answer this together with Aadiyat,
You definitely,
but possibility.
You definitely could if you wanted.
Yeah, maybe what Sicari's Regret is like sort of like off season home, right? So we haven't talked about season or the climate here, but I would imagine that some times of the year are better for venturing out than others, and so there could be like months where the gang is just hopping from place to place, and there could be a few months where we're just sort of holed up here, right? Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, Ahiri, describe what living quarters the gang are currently occupying. It's your venue. So what sort of locales do you offer for these nomadic folk who need a place to stay out the winter?
So I think that basically there will be during the season when people who are not goons are visiting, like there are like various rooms that like are quite nice. In this case, I think they're fairly spare. Like they're clean, like each one of them, maybe 3 or 4 people could sleep in them, whatever, not a problem. I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 rooms, because it's not a key offering, right? Like I don't offer living space as part of as part of the main package. Rather, I think that there is I think that there is probably a few rooms that are usually used by people to stay for like maximum a couple of nights, but these guys need it, and so fine. And I probably have told Iskandaric more than once that it doesn't entitle them to free food. You still have to pay for the food. It's an ongoing conversation, I think.
Beautiful. Lady Iskandaric, I want you to add one more detail to paint the scene here and give us some establishing shots. So, there are a couple of rooms that you and your gang shares. What is extra nice about yours? And do you have it alone or do you share it with someone?
Oh, the leader can't share.
So you have a room of your own. What about it is the nicest room in the venue? What about it makes it the nicest room?
I think what makes it a nice room? I guess just I mean, creature comforts are hard to come by. I think in this, right? I've just got a nice mattress. I've got a good night's sleep.
Yeah, All right. You
Yeah.
have a nice mattress. And so I think we see you in this opening establishing shot as some slanting light comes in through the window as you are lying down on this mattress, not asleep, but just, you have nothing to do at present.
Pondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When there is a sharp knock on the door, and it is the rhythmic and easily identifiable knock of Cartometric, your scout. And yeah, do you want to describe anything about Cartometric, or do you want to leave it to me?
You can. Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I haven't described anything about them. But maybe the names are a clue about what they're like.
Yep, absolutely.
And
there is a sharp rap on the door, and you recognize who this is.
Yeah, and gender could be whatever we think is good at the moment. Yeah, and I think it's Henrik is just still lying down on bed. I think maybe just has the keys to her 4-wheeler, kind of just idly swinging it around a finger, as you do, and says, come in.
Yep. And Cartometric opens the door and steps in very efficiently. I imagine Cartometric as bald, and also as having kind of like a lot of marks around their eyes from using binoculars and looking glasses a lot. So the old rubber has left an imprint, so Cartometric almost has like raccoon eyes, like this big black marks that are just kind of permanently there from extensive use.
Yeah.
And they slink inside and they go, "Hey boss, hey, got some news. Got some real exciting news. There's some interesting things going on. So, remember how we were talking about Fennec Garibaldi? Yeah. Heading out into the wastes, onto the flats. I don't know why, but got quite a handful of people coming along. So, that big tower, practically unguarded. There's another thing though, just found out on my way in. Remember that guy we strung up, Bingo, what's his face? Bingo's sister on her way in.
On her way in here?
Yeah, coming here. Don't know why. Just kind of caught it on the way back. I don't know if that concerns it. I bet there's better money in the tower. But, your call if you want to check that out. I don't know how long this Fennec Garibaldi's guy going to be away, but he's a pretty scary dude, so...
St. Fulminus Tower. And they just left it unguarded.
More or less. I mean, not entirely. The angel up there has a gun, and maybe one or two others, but, she stays mostly in the clinic. Bet there's not going to be any people keeping any eye on the rest of the stuff.
You know how sometimes something sounds too good to be true?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. Who else knows about this?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure. But I don't think too many people. I caught them heading out, and it seems to have been a very sudden decision. Because I don't think any of their people, I don't think anyone was prepared for an expedition, not even among their own folks. So probably some people, but not a lot of people. Not yet, if we act fast.
May I suggest that you're reading a situation?
Yeah, you may be reading a situation. That's entirely appropriate.
Well, why don't I then lead into that, because I was going to ask a question which would be reading a situation, which is, I think, is it funnier if we, is it better to say the names of the characters in full, or if we give them, nicknames to...
You can give them nicknames.
I don't know if we're calling them Cartometric every time.
Yeah.
I don't know, Carter or Carto.
Yeah.
Carto is a...
It's got to be Cart. His name is Cart. Yeah.
Cart.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes, Cart, it occurs to me that if Fennec Garibaldi is leaving St. Fulminus Tower to go out into the wastes, that what might be in the wastes might be more interesting than what's at St. Fulminus Tower.
Okay. Yeah, roll with sharp.
Okay. Ooh, I've got a 7.
Okay, you may ask some questions.
And I can ask one question. Okay.
Hmm.
Maybe the thing you're asking is what represents your best opportunity to get rich?
Getting rich isn't the main thing, right? It's influence and power and all that. But yeah, so there you go. What represents the best opportunity to, gain influence and
Okay,
power
so
here, yeah.
hold that thought, and I will cut away to the other people for a second.
Mhm.
So, per fidelity, tell me, why is Fennec Garibaldi out for your blood?
Why is Fennec Garibaldi out for my bloods?
And as a related question, because I've been thinking about this, do you think Angelica, Fennec's boss, made your prosthetic jaw? Because Angelica makes prosthetics usually. Or did you make it, or did someone else?
No, I think I made this, and that's why Fennec Garibaldi's out for my blood, because I'm undercutting Angelica's business.
Okay.
Fuck it, I'm better. I'm better than her.
Okay. Cool. So then we will get back to you and Tar Minotaur, who are together as we start, by the way. But I wanted an answer to that because it shapes what is going on. And so I think, Lady Skandaric, your question, as you question Cart about the details, you get the sense that Fennec is out for a hit on someone, not out treasure seeking, but out to harm someone. So there probably isn't much treasure out in the wastes. This seems to be like, maybe there is if he's killing someone rich, maybe, but he's definitely not going on a treasure hunt. That doesn't seem to align with what Cart observed about Fennec Garibaldi's movements. So the opportunity to get rich is definitely to rob Angelica and Fennec, not to go after what Fennec is.
Okay.
There are no follow-up questions, so like there may be asterisks to this, but if you're just looking for cash, then yeah, the tower is a better deal.
Okay. In that case, I think. Yeah. So like he takes this information and goes. So and I think he just makes a comment to in general goes whatever. So do I know that Garibaldi is going after
Per fidelity?
per fidelity specifically, or just on a hit?
Just on a hit, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think there would be any way for Cart to have seen who specifically is on the receiving end of this.
Okay.
Just
in that case,
they're going out to kill someone or hurt someone.
Then blissfully unaware that Garibaldi is out to kill one person that Iskandar considers a friend, she goes, "Well, sucks for the poor bastard, but I don't know why Garibaldi decided to abandon his post, but ours not the reason why."
Yeah, you want to do anything with this this Bingo's sister situation, or are we leaving that for the host?
Well, our host has to make it worth our while.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can only really do one, right? Because I need to move quick to St. Philomon's Tower, otherwise it's gonna be a whole gold rush to get there. And I'm gonna go and just go back, glance back at the card and goes, Bingo's sister, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, name Disco Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
That's his.
Yeah. So Gerson goes, sighs and goes, yeah. Ari can take care of. Sorry. Am I too? Huh? I was gonna say, am I referring to Ari as him or her? Because we are friends, kind of, right?
Yeah, you're her in the setting because it's professional at the moment, right? Ahiri is professionally her. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't earned him yet. No. All right.
Very few have, and even fewer have earned the secret third thing.
The secret third. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. We just go. Yeah. Irie can deal with that. We did our part. All right, boys. I think it's Cartometric bringing in the information, and I think so. It's kind of just says, have Luke and the rest form up. I'll be down in a bit.
All right. Switching perspectives for a moment to Ahiri. Then you are seeing that. I mean, these things don't escape you, right? So you have observed that the scout of your nomadic residents, of your nomadic guests, has returned, and that they are now forming up to do something. The layabouts are being pulled out of their seats where they were gambling or doing whatever they're doing, and something is being pulled together. Do you think that you talk very much to these people, or do you leave them mostly alone? Do you observe them from a distance, or do you chat with members of Lady Iskanderic's gang?
It's useful to keep for me to keep an eye on the pulse, I think, especially if it's like slower.
Okay.
And I probably I think that I will just basically if I've also heard the news that the tower is free.
Yeah, I think what I'm rolling with here is if you keep an eye on the gang, I'm going to say that you have a reasonable idea of these news that Cartometrics bring back, because I don't think the crew are particularly good at keeping quiet, right? As they're being
this makes sense.
Rustled up, the words get out. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do hear the news also mechanically in terms of the surplus from my venue is gossip and news, right? So,
yeah.
It makes sense that it's the same news. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you know the same information that Cart has brought in, which is that Disco Gilgamesh is coming here, and the tower is unguarded.
Yeah, so I think I will ask. I think I'm talking to Luca or Luke. It's Luke, right? Not Luck.
Luke. No, it's Luke.
Yeah.
Luca Modric. Yeah.
I'm
don't say his full name.
Okay.
It's dangerous.
Sorry, Luca Modric. Yes.
Yeah, indeed. I'm talking to Luke, and I will say, now it seems to me that this is the kind of opportunity your gang might go for. You reckon Iskandaric kind of person who might take advantage?
Yeah. What do we think about the descriptor for Luke? What's Luke's vibe?
I think this is a person that I've known the longest, right? Since my lieutenant, and this is gonna. I think I need at least one person on the gang who is reliable, cool head.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
This is that one.
Luke has it together. All right. I'm going to add a physical description that Luke has great hair. I don't know why, but I just wanted a physical description. The previous person we saw was bald, so Luke is instead has great hair.
Luke is useful to me in the pub because he adds to the scene, and he adds a real je ne sais quoi to the scene.
Yeah. So
I'd said at some point I'd mentioned, I think we were just discussing characters, I said that I would like Lady Iskandaric to also have immaculate hair in the post-apocalypse. So Luke and Iskandaric share hair care tips.
Yeah, this is one of the most coveted treasures you loot. It's shampoo and conditioner. So Luke looks you up and down with an almost flirtatious look and goes, "Yeah, I suppose it hasn't escaped you. We're heading out for a bit, going for a little bit of a stroll. What's it to you?"
So you didn't hear it from me, but there is no way in hell that Angelica gets left alone without any help, without any support, unless either shit's really about to go down, or much more likely, it's a trap. And
I feel like you're trying to reason with Luke here. Is that
Yeah.
what's going on?
that's
Yeah.
about right.
So tell me what
so
you're
that's-
proposing. I'm just flagging this. You're saying it sounds like a trap.
And-
What do? Yeah.
So
Why
I
are you telling
owe
Luke?
Angelica.
Uh-huh.
She's an interested party whom I owe, and the reason for this is that she has, for me, like saved from death's door more than one fighter in my gambling pits who,
Yeah.
he was gonna die. It would have been bad for business. I could have survived it, whatever. But it's better if the person doesn't die, right?
Yep.
And so, if I can get these guys off her back, it'll be useful, right? And I don't know if I can do that, but I'm gonna try.
So you're going to try
so
to
it's
reason
plus
with
shock.
Luke that this is probably a trap and they should be careful. Yeah, makes sense. Angelica is the area's only doctor, so
Yeah, reason with someone
Also
is
that.
with cool.
yeah, reason with someone
it's
is with
cool.
cool. Yeah. Mhm.
Even better. That's +2. I am so cool.
Yeah.
I am made
Yeah.
of cool.
Mm.
It didn't work. Exclamation mark AW +2. Anyway. Roll
Mhm.
2d6
Try
plus
normally
2.
and let's see.
Yeah. 11.
11. So, on a 10 plus, they have to choose, set reservations aside and go along with you, or else frankly and maybe violently refused. But we have just established that Luke has a cool head, so I think Luke sets reservation aside and goes along with you and says, that is a good point. Something about this does feel, should I take it up with the boss, you think?
I think that it's worth considering. Look, I'm not, you know me, I'm not your boss. I'm hands off, and I'm not one to make our relationship more difficult than it has to be. But when a competent enemy makes a mistake, it is no such thing.
Yeah. All right. I will cut away there because I think that sets it up nicely to catch up with the other two. So, what you have told me, Tar Minotaur, is that you are in a situation where your resources that you have a scarcity of is truth and walls. And I will tell you that walls are at the moment impossible to get because, for some reason, you have been run out of your home. Now, what is your home, and why don't you have access to it?
Nice. I lived in a place in Harmouth. There was an outpost of the Order of the Worm set up over there.
Yeah.
Why have I been run out of there? Have we established what the season is?
We have not.
I
It
think
is the season for raiding, so it is not the optimal season to go a raiding. That's about what we've said.
I think it's the wet season. I think the river has overrun its banks.
And your home has flooded?
My home is flooded, yes.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
It's a shame. I like that place.
Yeah.
But does that mean if it's a wet season and the rivers are overflowing, does that mean getting about is more difficult than normal?
Should be.
That might be the case. So, you have been run out of your home, and truth is scarce, which means that you are. Obviously, you need to search for a place to live and for a place to get by, and so on. And so you are at the moment out on the flats in quite bad weather. And per fidelity, the reason that you are following along is: did you have anything you wanted to have a shortage of, or shall I just tell you? First of all.
I was thinking it'd be very interesting if, at the moment for me, health is impossible. And I think that downtime's been hard.
Yep. So you are in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Health is impossible. You are sickly and unwell. And I will tell you that liberty is scarce because you are stuck with Tar Minotaur. You are not allowed to go where you please. I'm making another piece of your problem. So you two are out in the flats, and the reason for this is that you have heard a story, Tar Minotaur, that there is out here a farmstead or a homestead or some sort that was abandoned where you might live. It is not stealing, so it would be fine. But since truth is scarce, this is in fact probably some sort of trap or misleading thing. Like, you don't have good information on this. So you're looking for an abandoned homestead where you could, without dishonor, well, squat, but, you know, live there without it being stealing. And the pair of you are out in bad weather, and your squire is sick on top of everything else, as you have roped Perfidelity into assisting you with this. So the two of you find yourself on like a very flat plain where like there is some farming done when the weather allows it. It is raining, it is quite wet, it is miserable, and you are pushing on for somewhere. And yeah, what do you say to each other, and what do you do as we find you in this situation?
I think I have a big woolen coat that's also like grease impregnated for the weather. And what I'm doing, I think, is I have it kind of like held open slightly at the breast, and I have brought Perfidelity against my chest, and I am shielding her from the weather as we trudge forward.
Interesting.
Cute.
Yeah, Perfidelity, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I think Perfidelity, because their health is, not great at the moment, is very much feeling as though she's causing Tarminator to lag behind. Like, she's explicitly got her crutch dragging in the dirt now, kind of having to drag herself to keep up with her mentor's long strides here.
Yeah.
And you have to measure your own stride length to be able to, for me to actually physically be able to keep up.
I think we're setting a pace that I am setting a pace that is not impossible for you, but which you have to kind of like push to keep up with.
And speaking of push, I would like to push you, Tarminatar, to read the situation here, because you're out on a field and quite lost. So it sounds to me like you want to orient yourself.
Yeah, where are we going? And how can one orient oneself? I think I look around for landmarks. So the flats, tell us about the flats.
Yeah, the flats is an area of the valley where there isn't much trees or types of vegetation. It also isn't very steep, unlike a lot of other places. Like, it leans slightly because this is still a valley, but it is a large expanse of what was once pretty barren fields. But things have begun to blossom a little bit again, and there's now some possibility of farming here. People set out to try to do some agriculture. There are even some quite successful farms. But, you know, occasionally there are also abandoned farmsteads and so forth. So what I'm imagining is something like, not maybe a prairie, but like, flat terrain. Maybe it's a little more like Scottish Highlands, because it still is like a hilly region, right? But this area is a relatively flat part of it.
Yeah. And I think it's hard to see. I think it's like endless landscape where it's hard to orient yourself, right?
Yeah. And it's also raining, so you have poor visibility.
Yeah. And I'm wearing a stupid great helm. So 2d6 minus 1. That's my sharp. Also, a reminder to everyone: every time you roll, you mark your stat.
Yep.
Oops.
Yes. 2d6 minus 1. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that does work. 9.
It's a 9. So you have one question.
I have one question. Yeah. What should I be on the lookout for, is what I'm asking, which is, where the hell should I be going?
What should you be on the lookout for? Okay, but you're not asking...
I mean, I can only ask one thing, and I need to know where I need to go.
Interesting. So what should you be on the lookout for? Yeah, I think the truthful answer to this is that you have begun to realize that what you should be on the lookout for at this point is actually danger, because you have realized, you have had a hunch, but you've started to become sure about it now, that you are being spotted and followed. And this is a recent thing. This is not something that happened like, you have not been followed since you set out on this trek. But there is a small hill, or like a small raised area, which you were moving towards. And then someone there saw you and it is someone who's not approaching you to immediately, or actually no, let us say that they are. So what you should be on the lookout for is that there are people approaching you from a height who are doing so very carefully and cautiously. This is not like a welcome you with open arms thing, but they seem to have intentions to speak with you.
Okay, and this is fully exposed terrain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I say
it's two people, let's say, who are approaching you quite warily.
Okay, I can sort of figure that out. I think I just say to my squire, "We are being followed. I do not know their intentions. There are two of them."
And per fidelity, yeah, feeling pretty rubbish, is just going to press in a little bit closer, shivering from the rain. Very much not in a place to do anything, really.
Yeah, and I think as you say this, they cannot hear you, the people who approach you.
No,
but
not too far away.
You have pretty good sense of things, and then one of them raises a weapon of some kind, a firearm, points it your way, and shouts across the howling wind a question. And they shout simply, "You there! Are you per fidelity evergreen?"
And I think what I do is I stop and I angle my body such that per fidelity cannot be seen under the coat, and any attempt to shoot per fidelity would absolutely shoot me. Would have to go through me, which is going to be quite the task. I am very big, and I'm armored. And I think I will say towards that direction, "I am Tar Minotaur Azdakush of Landstrakar, Knight of the Order of the Worm, and I have the honor of calling per fidelity Evergreen Azdakush my squire. Who are you?" And I would like to confront them. I demand a name.
Okay, let us do that, and let us have that be the last act of the session, because I think this is a fantastic cliffhanger.
Okay.
So please confront them, and let's see how it goes.
Confronting someone who's with aggro. I did that the wrong thing, but it's fine. 12.
Okay, you roll a 12. On a 12 plus, they have to choose to defy you to your face and take the consequences and cave and do what you want. And what you want is for them to simply state their name.
You kind of like meet me face to face, as it were. So I'm challenging them. I have announced myself. I am not hiding that per fidelity is here.
Yeah. All right. So then I think the first person who first spoke, still trains their weapon on you. And the other person steps forward, who has so far not spoken, and just says, "I am Fennec Garibaldi." And I think that's a great place to wrap the session on, to be honest.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
There are end of session things. Should we do those?
I think we should not, because we barely had time to set things up.
Okay.
We're splitting it up a little bit. Because we did the session 0 now, ordinarily there are absolutely the end of session moves, but we basically just did the start of session moves. So I think we'll save them for next time.
Okay.
We were a little bit time constrained, but I hope you had fun setting this up. We got to see your characters in action. I think it's nice to do that in a session 0.
Yeah. Yep. I'm enjoying myself.
I love rolling well.
And we will simply take this to be a teaser for what will happen in the next episode, which will be our first full session of season 3. Very excited for it. I hope that you are too, both you, members of Desperate Attune, and you, the listener. Thank you for joining us on this character creation episode. Hope that you enjoyed seeing these little teasers of where these characters will go, and we will resume this session in the next episode of Desperate Attune. Thank you for listening.
Support us on Patreon.
Bye.
Yes, support us on Patreon. I did not manage to fit that in this very well this time, but
I will yell it out for you.
Yes.
Oh dear.
You've been listening to Desperate Attune Season 3, called No Anthem. I've been your host, Holly. With me have also been Zoheb, Aadiyat, Salty, and Tree. If you'd like to support our show, you can do so at patreon.com/desperateattune, which will give you access to our Discord and also give you access to our episodes 1 week early. If you'd prefer a one-time donation, you can do so at ko-fi.com/desperateattune, or you can buy our book Sun Mirror at desperateattune.itch.io. The intro music is Steady Now by Waterflame, and the outro music is Ready Now, also by Waterflame. Our logo design is by Fahim Anzum Rumman. Thank you for listening to Desperate Attune, and we hope to see you again next episode.